This is Tommy Morrison.
Yes, Tommy.
He played Tommy Gunn in Rocky
Rocky
V,
V.
which came out in 1990. But little to my knowledge, at the time of watching Rocky V, he was an actual heavyweight boxer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Made his pro debut in 1988 and fought until 96.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. Okay.
What year?
And I knew he was a heavyweight boxer a couple of years after I watched Rocky, and I watched Rocky when I was like a teenager, like 13 sort of. So, anyway.
What year were you born?
92.
Okay.
I mean, this film came out before I was born. All the Rockies did.
Except for
the ones,
except for the two new
except for
ones.
Rocky Balboa and
Creed.
the Creed films. But anyway, so long story short, this guy's actually a fucking top prospect. Like, his amateur record, he's had 260 amateur fights, roughly. He lost 30 of them, but out of the 230 that he won, he won by knockout. In amateur fights headgear, he won by knockout in 200.
Fucking hell, that's impressive.
Wham.
That is ridiculous, mate. Like, this guy is a heavy hitter. He beat George Foreman during his comeback in a points decision. And he was, at one point, the number one ranked WBO heavyweight contender. Right? He ended up winning the WBO belt at some point in his career. He only held it for one fight.
So he's a legit heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
He's a legit heavyweight champion.
Right.
The thing about him is, the shocking thing about this whole story is, he had this lucrative career, but he always had a bit of a problem with partying, drinking, drugs, and that
Alcohol
shit.
and shit like that.
And his career dipped off. He lost a few fights by just dumb shit, and he dipped off a little bit, and his stamina dropped. And he stopped boxing for a little while. Anyway, who's the black geezer with the tall hair, the boxing promoter, the American one?
Not Larry.
Don King.
Don King.
Don King. So at the end of his career, so he'd been boxing for a long time, and at the end of his career, he signed a 3-fight deal for $10 million. Bear in mind, this is the mid-90s. To sign off his career, basically. And the final fight was meant to be against Mike Tyson.
Oh.
That's how this is how this guy was signing off his career, right? Bear in mind, Mike Tyson's been around for a long time at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
but still, Mike
96.
Tyson's an animal.
96, Mike Tyson.
96, 97? This
So
was
was-
96. Yeah, the deal was signed in 96.
Yeah, but he was still an animal then, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work out. Like, was this like...
Tyson started in the late 80s.
Yeah, but
was this the Mike Tyson that was like...
This is post, but
ear bite. Was this post or pre?
this is after he lost to Buster Douglas.
Wow.
Oh, really?
really?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So he's still an animal, but
Yeah, but he's not.
He's a bit aged.
I don't know at what point in his career this is.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Because obviously he came through and he was a 20-year-old
But
machine knocking people out.
he was guaranteed a shot. I assume that Tyson was holding belts at the time. So he was guaranteed a shot on his third fight and his 3-fight deal. Bear in mind, he got a bit out of shape at this point, but he's always been a big heavy hitter. Anyway, it comes to the blood test of his first. So he has to take a blood test for the first fight, and he refuses to take the blood test.
Right,
And they're like, his promoter, his team and his promoter, like, what the fuck are you doing, you moron? Like, take the fucking blood test. Like, bear in mind, he's been boxing since 88. 1988 is when he started his pro career. And he's like, oh, no, I'm scared of needles. You're like, mate, you've been boxing since 88. Like, how many blood tests have you had? Just do the fucking blood test, you moron. So he sucks it up and has a blood test. HIV positive. Alright?
yeah,
In what is essentially a blood sport.
yeah, that's
Like you can catch by exchanging saliva and
yeah.
like,
You
Oh,
fucking
you can't catch HIV by saliva.
can you
no, it's
not?
by blood.
No.
I swear it's by blood
Blood.
contact.
Yeah.
Is
So
it
if you-
just blood? Because they mentioned in the documentary, like, no, because exchanging saliva is
Yeah.
like is
No,
quite detrimental to this.
It could be.
I swear you can't. Like, you can share food with someone that's HIV positive.
Because I know, I
Probably not,
understand
but,
the
you know,
aspect
but still.
of it. Obviously, boxing, as Andy said, is a blood sport, so blood's flying everywhere.
Yeah,
If you
got
get
an open
fucking
cut,
your
and he's got an
eyebrow,
open cut, and you clash heads,
Well,
mate, you got HIV.
it's not even that.
everywhere.
If he fucking you obviously throwing punches
So-
and blood spraying at your face and it's in your mouth when you.
So he loses his license because he's about to lose his license because he refuses to do the blood test. Takes the blood test. Turns out he's HIV positive.
loses his license anyway. Surely.
Immediately loses his license
Yeah,
anyway.
it's gone like that.
Allegedly, it comes out that he's known he's HIV positive since 1989, and he'd been boxing for like 6-7 years, knowing that he's HIV positive and somehow flying under the radar with it.
But didn't you say he takes the blood tests?
Yeah.
So they would have picked up upon it.
I don't know, but I don't know how the tests have changed over the years. Maybe they changed at some point in the 90s to have blood tests. Maybe they used to do it a different test.
true,
maybe,
yeah.
maybe they didn't test for it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Could have been just a generic thing.
But this guy
if
had
they're
like-
looking for peds, then
I mean,
maybe they're not.
It got to the point in this guy's career. I think he was like 23-0 before he had his first. So he
That's
was
why.
banging like people up. He was smashing people up bad, and then it turns out he's HIV positive. Right. This is how the career progresses. Right. So this is what he looks like. This is 1990.
Yeah.
This is 2 years after he goes pro. This is Rocky 5 in 1990.
So he's got HIV there.
Yeah, this 89 year
Right.
HIV. So this is 1 year into AIDS.
Yeah. This is.
Right.
Fucking
That's
hell.
him in 2006.
Okay. So he's
So this is.
casually bopping about HIV.
Cheeky
Yeah. So
nipple ring.
at this point, he's accepted that he's got HIV.
Right.
And he's changed. He's become him and Magic Johnson, I think it was.
Yeah, Matt Johnson has AIDS, didn't he?
Magic Johnson, yeah. So he joined Magic Johnson and become his spokespeople for HIV, and they were going around America talking about HIV and etc. etc. He changes his life. So this is 2006, and he's wham. Look at him there. He's about. I think
he's still in shape.
I think in this picture he's 37.
Fucking hell, really?
I think the ages are. I'm not sure. He might be a bit younger, but he changes his life around, gets in shape, except the fact he's got HIV. Anyway, sometime around, this is a very short time period, by the way. You're going to be shocked at how much this guy changes. Sometime around 2010, he picks up a new wife, right?
Oh, bit risky.
She's a loon, apparently. So this
Sounds like a her problem.
this does sound like a her problem. So she's a bit of a loon.
Now
she stops him talking to the outside world.
Okay.
Right.
And then
Just make him wear like a fucking foil hat.
At some point around 2010 to ish 2011, whether she's convinced him of this or not, I don't know. But he stops taking his medication for HIV because he doesn't believe he has HIV, and he bear in mind he's a spokesperson for it, going around America talking to people about his experience. He then turns around and is like, "No, I never had HIV. I'm absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with me." Stops taking his medication, right? That's 2006.
Hold on. How long after him getting whammoed in the head multiple times to this period are we at now? Because there must have been a long period where he wasn't getting his face rearranged.
That's 4 years from the photo I just showed you.
Yeah. 4 years.
That's 2010. So that one I showed you where he was wham and looking quite young still was 2006. That's 2010.
So he's roughly about 42 there.
He's about 40.
Yeah.
So I think he's 40 exactly, they said.
Is this 4 years? Like, this is 4 years prior to him not taking his drugs anymore?
This is about... No. He must have just stopped taking his drugs at this point.
Fucking hell.
How's he got Hispanic?
Tommy Morrison, the man that changed ethnicities because of HIV.
What happened to his ears?
He's a boxer, mate.
Yeah,
But his ears weren't fucked in the last fight, were they?
Probably.
I
You
don't know.
probably couldn't see him.
Yeah, probably looking.
Mate, that 4 years. Not even that, about 3.5 years that would have been. He
Don't
went
get
he
AIDS,
went from
kids.
he went from do not get HIV and if you do, take your medication because you end up like Tommy Morrison.
right?
Right?
Spokesperson now, and
That's the most. There is one other picture that I couldn't find that I saw in the documentary of him. He died. So he eventually died in 2013.
Oh, shit, I didn't realise he was dead.
Yeah, he died in 2013. Well, mate, he had
Slight
HIV
to his
and
name.
stopped taking medication, like to the point where he genuinely believed he was fine, and eventually had organ failure and died of cardiac arrest.
How can you believe you're fine when you're slowly turning into like a fucking extra in Breaking Bad?
Wow.
I mean, this delusions of grandeur, like, is the first thing that comes to this man. Obviously, is a bit off his rocker at this point.
Oh, must be, yeah.
But what stunned me about this the most is that I'd watch the films and I see him like when I was younger, and I was like, except that's my one. That was my. You've breathed on it now. I'll have a new one. That was my Jamie Dodger that I reserved for post Tommy Morrison story.
So let me get this straight. So he met the woman. He met. He's like, I'm guessing he married that woman.
His
so
was wife.
he died in 2013. You said.
Yeah.
And he married her in 2010. So there's a 3-year period where he was married for her, and then he obviously caved in. So the photo you showed us, how long ago was that one? Was that
3.5 years before that?
3.5 years?
So bear in mind, I've known you guys for like what, 4.5 years now?
Yeah, just over 4, maybe 5.
Right. In a shorter time period than that, he's gone from being wham and having about 50% of his hair to having no hair, looking all skinny and definitely abusing drugs, and HIV is starting to get the better of him.
The no hair might be his lifestyle, though. He might be embracing the baldness like Jarve does.
That's
Yeah,
fine. People go bald.
Thanks for that.
But
I'd
some
like
people,
to say how I got him, but people can see your bald, Joe. So
it's not
a
really
mystery.
inconspicuous.
Jarve pulls up a Scooby-Doo mask and he's just jarving him underneath. It's like, suckers, you didn't know I was Jarve. No, we did. We can see that you're Jarve.
There's no hair. But that's what I'm finding a thing, because you said that his wife kind of cut him out from the outside world. Do you think this might have been... Did she get left with all of his stuff?
This is what I thought as well.
Because this could have been a cheeky little attempt at getting him,
So I'm sitting there thinking, she's seen him, knows who he is.
Knows obviously about
He's got a bit of dosh. I know he's got AIDS.
He mustn't have mustache this time now.
If I can convince him, if I can convince him that he's fine, he'll die in a couple of years and I'll get all his stuff.
Yeah, but that was in my head as well. But I'm now thinking now that obviously he was a boxer for the 80s. They didn't know much about
and most of the 90s.
Yeah, but if you compare the time periods, he obviously wasn't. I'm guessing some of his fights were headliners. Like obviously, he was like they said world heavyweight champion at one point. So they were money fights.
He very briefly held the WBO heavyweight.
But then he signed three fights for 10 mil, didn't he? And obviously Mike Tyson was the last one. But if he lost his license in the first fight, he wouldn't have got the cash money. So he would have lost out on 10 mil.
If you void your contract, you don't get the money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So in my mindset is at that time he's probably still got money, but not a lot of it. Going around America touring.
He'll be alright though. Like, he'll probably have 7 figures in his bank at one point.
Yeah, 7 figures,
he
but
a mortgage, whatever.
I'm guessing when you look like that, you must be spending money on certain things to make you look like that. I'm guessing that I know the medicine did take an effect. Cause obviously, it was fighting the AIDS. Obviously, now that that's not happening, it's taken over. But there must be something else mixed in that as well.
Of course, he admitted to taking things like cocaine and he was an alcoholic and he massive womanizer partier during his younger years, but.
So now you say he don't gear. It doesn't actually look like he's got 2 nostrils.
Yeah, now you say that actually, the middle part looks like it's fucking gone. Because you can see like there.
He is a boxer though as well. Like bear in mind, this guy's been punched in the face many times.
And to be honest, it was back in them days. It was probably a bit more harder.
Yeah, mate.
They're less padding.
Even watching the replays, like the sections of the fights. Nowadays, when you're getting hit and someone's head starts to go wobbly and they take a couple punches, the ref jumps in and stops it.
Not them.
Mate, they are hitting these people full force as they're falling to the ground. Like they're going bang, bang, and the bloke's knocked out, falling to the ground, and they're still hitting him as he's going down. It's like, bro, stop. He's already dead. Leave him alone.
The ref's sitting there like, I should really stop this.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
American refs tend to be a bit more
lenient.
Lenient in their fight. The British refs tend to jump in and stop.
Well, lads, first punch, right, lads, calm down.
Yeah. And Joshua gets one time by Fury. Stop, boys. He needs time to recover.
He needs some water. He needs some milk.
He needs some milk.
But, no. As you said, that might be one of the main things, though. It could have. We don't know, do we? Because he's fucking off and his wife's probably fallabranting in America. In Vegas.
Imagine if like the wheel comes through and he's like, he's been off his rocker so much, he's been on so many drugs that he's not bothered changing it since like 96. It's like, oh yeah, to my mom. I don't know why he's all of a sudden he's Forrest Gump. He's from the southern states of America.
Oh, okay, you nailed it then.
But I don't know why he became Forrest Gump briefly. That's like a box of chocolates.
You get hit in the face too much, you lose brain cells.
Yeah, that's like a box of boxing.
Saying that, I swear Forrest Gump had AIDS as well.
He did.
So, but we found the real life the realistic Forrest Gump is now Tommy Morrison.
He's practically the boxing Forrest Gump.
Yeah, and Forrest Gump was.
I guess he didn't run as much as Forrest, but he boxed.
He's Forrest Gump without the ping pong
and the running.
Is it bad I've not watched Forrest Gump from start to finish?
Have you not watched it?
I haven't watched it either. So
have you?
I've seen bits of it, and I know kind of how the story goes, but I've never sat down and watched the whole film.
See, he lives life, mate.
I funny one, right? I went to.
Doesn't some girl play him for like decades?
Yeah. Oh yeah, mate. Yeah.
Doesn't
she gives him the AIDS. She has the AIDS.
Doesn't she also have AIDS? And when he gets it, he's like,
there was
she goes to him because at the end, because basically they've both got AIDS.
There was the Family Guy did a fucking perfect skit of it.
I know exactly.
And it literally was just like a timescale of her mugging him off.
Yeah.
And it was just like I think at one scene he goes to like America. Obviously in America they're in there, but it's like Washington DC. They're at a monument. This like protest.
Yeah.
And then she goes and fucking jumps on a van with some other people. As Forrest is like got a medal, I think, from like, was it Nixon?
He meets a few presidents. I think it was either Nixon or Kennedy.
I think it was Kennedy because one of them was like,
what's the time period it's set in? Because what year was
he? He was in the Vietnam War.
It was Vietnam War.
Forrest lives a crazy
Kennedy
life, mate.
was Vietnam.
No, Nixon. I think wasn't it?
Nixon. It was Nixon. Yeah.
He was but back to us, Sam. Yeah. So then she jumps on a van and fucks off, and then I think more or less down the line, he's back at his old house. She's got AIDS, the most uncurable disease. But obviously got medicine now, but back in their days, it was literally you get AIDS, you're dead. And she's like, I'll now have pity sex with you. And so like the Family Guy skit was what it was. It's like,
that's the Family Guy
I now
skit,
have AIDS, but I'll have pity sex with you. Okay, Jenny.
They both played. So.
And then I think she does like, okay, Jenny, I'll raise the age, baby.
We don't condone this.
Family Guy is so savvy
I
sometimes.
do.
Man, fuck it. Family Guy made a joke about it. We may fucking make a joke about it.
If they can get away with it, anyone can. I know they got cancelled once, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
Well,
but
then twice.
No, they got cancelled.
No,
They
once.
got cancelled once, but I think they're at the time they were the first ever show to get put back on air based on DVD sales.
Mate, well, they were.
Yeah.
DVD
So their season 1 and 2 sold so many DVDs or some VHS tapes. I guess.
You got to think at the time, like,
that
what
they
was
got
really
them back on air
what was really there in that kind of
because
era.
it became a cult show.
Yeah, cult classic, like
yeah.
Evil Dead is.
It's like
Well,
like
number
Monty
2.
Python. It's
Yeah.
just a cult classic. Like
It wasn't as successful when it came out, but obviously years later,
because of the way it came back
yeah,
on air, it became huge, and now it's just a regular feature. Like.
yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to discuss Tom Morrison because I watched that documentary.
Well,
and
yeah,
I just wanted to show you he's only 40 years old there.
What old was he when he died? 43, 44?
He was in his 40s. Yeah, he was young, mate. And he looked when he died. He must have been
If
about.
he fucking looks like that.
He was in his early to mid 40s when he died.
If he's not the autopsy photo, this is just what he looks like when he died.
Mate, honestly,
That's a mug.
there's a photo a couple weeks taken before he dies, and he looks about 57.
Is this a mugshot? Was he arrested or something? Or is this
It
just
looks like a
general-
mugshot, doesn't it?
It's his Facebook profile photo.
Like if one of you guys told me that was your dad and he was 55, I'd be like, yeah, fair enough. Like,
yeah.
to be fair, Jarv, that could be your parent.
Jarv, is that your dad?
Or it could pass as Nico Bellic, maybe.
Nico Bellic.
The GTA.
Hello,
GTA guy.
cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Let's
does
go
kinda like him.
bowling.
It does look kind of like him. Anyway, that's all I wanted to